rated T to M. Hey, want to hear a PC Game Pass ad? I'll take your silence as a yes. Want new games on day one like Call of Duty Black Ops 6 or Stalker 2? I thought so. How about unlocking all the League of Legends champions when you link your Riot Games account? All for one low monthly price? Well, guess what? We got you. Learn more at xbox.com/PC Game Pass or click the banner. Stalker 2 available November 20th, 2024. Game catalog varies by region and over time. And that's the end of the script.
If you want to see more companies make things in America, consider buying more things from companies who are already doing that very thing. Companies like American Giant. These guys have been making T-shirts, sweatshirts, flannels, and blue jeans in America for the last 14 years, with cotton grown right here in the USA. That means good jobs for lots of hardworking Americans in factory towns all over the country. Check out their stuff in stores everywhere or pick up something awesome at American-Giant.com.
Entertaining and informative.
This is Sid and Friends in the Morning.
77 WABC.
Dancing down the street with his wavy blue eyes. Every new boy that you meet doesn't know the real surprise. Here she comes again when she's dancing beneath the starry sky. She'll make you feel. Here she comes again when she's dancing beneath the starry sky.
Lewis just killing it today. Man, every song is great. The Cars, My Best Friend's Girl. Don't forget Judge Janine Pirro coming up next. She had the only interview with Daniel Penny yesterday. She's on Fox News as I'm talking about that. She'll join me to talk about Daniel Penny and this maniac, Luigi Mangione. She's coming up next. Then Scott Lebedo next hour. But we are very lucky to have this lady. Very few I love more, if any. And my wife, Danielle, can't wait to see her, too. We're going to be together in 17 days down in Miami. The big lover of Trump, Israel, everything good, the great Siggy Flicker. Siggy, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, my angel. Good morning. Boker Tov, Sid. How are you?
I'm great. And 17 days. Don't forget, Siggy, 17 days. You, your handsome husband, Michael, me, and Danielle, we are going to hit Mar-a-Lago together.
We sure are. We sure are. We're going to have a fabulous dinner. I feel like I'm there every single day. There's always such beautiful activity moving around Mar-a-Lago. It's just like the president's home until he moves into, the White House. But first he's got to, he's got to sanitize that house before he moves in there. God forbid, The whole thing has to be sanitized.
Oh, you are right. And he's moving in less than 40 days. But, you talk about Mar-a-Lago, his home, and, he's making all these nominees, making all these presidential picks. But on any given day, and you're there a lot, you're there a couple times a week, do you just catch the president walking around, or is he kind of behind closed doors?
No, the president is behind closed doors. He's in meetings all day. You will see him coming out of, he uses Mar-a-Lago, everybody's there. J.D. Vance is there. You'll walk around, you'll see Robert Kennedy there. You'll see Vivek there. You'll see the whole transition team is there. Elon, of course, that's one of the president's best friends now, is there. And you see everybody there, but they are busy working, getting the right people. This time, the president is very familiar with the swamp. This time around, he is putting key people in key positions, and we don't have any room for error. We need to clean up this country, and it's going to be starting on day one. I saw Tom Homan last night. Once again, Siggy, on day one, we're starting mass deportation. On day one, you're burning that American flag, and you are tearing down that Israeli flag, and you are one of those useful idiots that is being used by your university or somebody else, telling you to be a lover of jihad and not a lover of Judeo-Christian values. You're out of here. You're out of here. And I'm so excited for the future generation of Americans. These young kids deserve to grow up in a country where they're not being bombarded by the woke mind every day. It's going to be freedom once again.
Love Tom Homan, and he means what he says, too. A lot of people say a lot of stuff, but two men in particular that actually do what they say include President Trump and Tom Homan. So I go on Instagram this morning, as I do most mornings, and almost everybody I know, from Emily Austin to Elizabeth Pipko to Siggy Flicker, my friend on the phone right now, was at this Miami summit. I don't know what it is. Odds are I would not be invited because I think it was put on by the Jerusalem Post, and they don't like Republican Jews like me. But either way, I saw your video up on stage. You were great. What is this big summit down in Miami all about?
Thank you. And Sid, you're wrong. You're wrong. The tides are changing. The Jerusalem Post, which, of course, we know they used to be such a liberal magazine, and we already know what the liberals did to Israel. It's the same thing that the liberals did to America. They tried to destroy us from within because of the brainwashing. And I don't even know what happened to people's, the brain cells that just stopped working when it was so obvious right in front of you. But they were, they would die for this administration, as if this administration even cared, while they're laughing at you. You were so, they do the same thing to Bibi in Israel.
Yep.
Poor Bibi, what they're doing to him in Israel is such a sin. With all these, it's just craziness has overcome the world. But the Jerusalem Post and everybody realizes, hey, we've got to open up.
Well, you know what? In all fairness, I'm actually going to amend what I said, and you were about to say it anyway. But there was an article written in the Jerusalem Post, which is a big deal, only 2 weeks ago, which talked about the biggest Jewish influencers for Donald Trump. They listed 10 people. And I was one of those 10 people in the paper. So I guess I'm wrong.
Yes, you are very valued and you are very loved. You've got the #1 show, and you helped in the process of making America great again. What's happening now is the transition team, and everybody in the world is saying, whoa, these people that we've been making fun of for all these years, we've been calling them conspiracy theorists, we've been calling them Looney Tunes. They're really the party of common sense. They're actually saving my life. So what's happening now, there's a little bit of a shift. They invited me to speak there. They invited others to speak there. And there's no politics. You see, 4 years ago, they would invite Noah Tishby to speak. And she doesn't speak political, right? But at the same time, she'll put up a picture of her and Biden and praise him and how much she loves Israel.
Which I killed her for on the show for the last 2 years.
Right. What she was doing is actually leading our people back to the gas chambers. Disgratia on the highest level. But anyway, we are in a new day, and what the American people are starting to realize is, wow, this man won the popular vote. There is no more, I'm ashamed, I'm a Trump supporter. Oh, my God, I know that somebody's going to get their feelings hurt. Who cares? Cry me a river. Your feelings are hurt. Go home. Cry me a river. It's more important to save this country. Last night, Tucker Carlson was at Mar-a-Lago. Kid Rock was at Mar-a-Lago.
Let me stop you with Tucker Carlson. I'm going to tell you something. I saw Tucker, and I saw him in the green room right before I spoke at MSG, and he walked over, and I have to tell you, Siggy, he could not have been any nicer. He actually said to me, I texted Lou at the time, he said, you were the most talented person on that Imus in the Morning show, even more talented than Imus all those years, and I loved you. But I will tell you this, I took a picture with Tucker, and a few people very, very close to me, family and friends, said, don't you dare post that. He is an anti-Semite. Now, look, I understand that you don't sit down and do an interview with Roger Waters. I wouldn't do it. Tucker did it. I wouldn't do it. That doesn't make him an anti-Semite, though, does it?
No. You see, Mel Gibson was also there last night, and I had a conversation with Mel Gibson. Listen, certain people in their lives do stupid things. Tucker Carlson is brilliant. He's funny, he's accessible, he's relatable, he's kind, and he's sweet. Did he do something? Did he do something wrong? Yes. What he did, and what your audience needs to understand, is Israel is the only country in the world where if you're gay, you're not being thrown off a building. Muslims, Christian, Jews, all equal rights. Muslims serve in the IDF. People don't know that because they hang out with useful idiots who tell them the opposite. But what Tucker Carlson did wrong was he interviewed somebody who was giving misinformation. Listen, sometimes you have good interviews, sometimes you have bad interviews. The interview went like this. And what the truth is that everywhere Jesus walked in Israel, every holy site of Jesus Christ, whether it's the Church of Annunciation, Jesus' tomb, where he walked the water with Peter, and they have the best St. Peter's fish, every Jesus Christ holy site is being guarded, not by the Palestinians, not by jihad. They're being guarded by the IDF. What Israel is doing right now in the Middle East is remarkable. They're saving the rest of the world. And Israel right now is being so savage, they're not listening to this current administration. Somebody finally got the memo that this current administration has more jihadis working for it, and no one really cares what Biden or Kamala or Rashida Tlaib or Ilyana Mar or any of the laughing hyenas, whoever they are, we don't care what they say.
No.
Israel is continuing to protect its citizens against jihad. So Tucker Carlson had a guest on his show that was spewing lies. And what I want everybody to understand is that's what jihad does. They infiltrate, they populate, they dominate, and they never assimilate. And they do it through a term called taqiyya. Taqiyya means I'm allowed to lie for you in America, in Sweden, in the UK, in France. I'm allowed to lie to you for the sake of Allah and advancing Allah. And they come and they lie, and they're allowed to swear on the Quran, and they don't take the Constitution of the United States of America seriously, and they can't stand democracy. And what bothers them about Israel? What bothers them about Israel is their own people. Everywhere that you have jihad, they're fleeing to other countries until they create jihad there. But what everybody is so jealous of Israel is this tiny miracle of a land that was given to us thousands and thousands of years ago. It's the only Jewish homeland. And by the way, the Christians today, God bless you, you stand up more for Israel and the Jewish people more than the liberal Jews. So you're already in the apple of God's eyes. Genesis 12:3, I will bless those who bless Israel, and I will curse anyone who curses Israel. Well, you see it happening now. You see it happening now. Israel's taking great measures to protect its citizens, which are Muslim, which are Arab Israelis, which are Christians. And by the way, the LGBTQ community, it's the only place in the Middle East where you can live free to love whoever you want without persecution. And women, you don't got to cover your hair. You could choose to practice any religion. And Sid, isn't that what we want? I want to live in a world where anybody can practice any religion they want. And then let's meet on Thursdays for chips, salsa, and guacamole and have some fun. But don't tell me I don't have a right to exist because I'm a fabulous Jew who refuses to shrink herself for anyone. You don't like Jews? You're a Jew hater? What do I care? Hate Jews. Well, it doesn't mean anything to me whether somebody likes a Jew or not. Do not, though, tell me I don't have a right to exist, because then I take out the F-22s.
Oh, God, Siggy, I love it. Final 2 minutes, I got to get Janine Pirro on. What a great appearance again, Sig. After what happened in Syria over the weekend, Assad running to Moscow, and there's a lot of good. I mean, obviously, when Iran feels pain, we love that. When Russia feels pain, we love that. There's some bad, too. You heard Bibi talk about some of the bad characters that may come out of the woods now, ISIS and Al-Qaeda and others. But overall, in the next 2 minutes, give me what you feel about Israel in the very near future.
Israel is going to shock the world, save the world. Israel is America's first line of defense. What's happening in Israel right now should be happening everywhere in the world. What's happening in Israel right now, let me repeat that, because Americans do not understand that when you have neighbors who want to come into your house and burn your house down, you've got to go to measures to protect your home and your people. So now what's happening in Syria is, yes, they got rid of Assad, who was a bad guy, who killed millions and millions of people with chemicals. He's a horrible guy, and he went to Russia. He escaped to Russia. But what's happening in Israel right now is you have other jihadi groups who are rising up, and no one wants to talk about the Christians in the Middle East. If a Jew is not in the news, then it's really not news. They don't really care about it because they can't really go with the news cycle. No Jews, no news. I want people to understand that the Christians are suffering in the Middle East. Churches are being burned down. By the way, when Donald Trump went to go visit the great Notre Dame, no one wants to talk about who tried to burn it down twice. It wasn't a faulty wire.
That's right.
So you have to understand churches are being burned down, and I think people need to start helping the Christians in the Middle East. The Christians in Syria are scared to death. Why? Because another jihadi group is coming in and they want to rule. Who's taking care of this jihadi group? I'll give you 3 guesses. Enough time went by. Israel A, Israel B, or Israel C. Israel is now saving the Christians in the Middle East. Why? Because nobody wants to stand up to jihad. Nobody. And meanwhile, while you don't stand up to it and you're all afraid to talk about it, here goes the UK falling, France falling, Germany falling. I mean, they're all like, yeah, Hitler should have completed the job. Hitler's rolling around in his grave. He wanted an Aryan nation. Now he's got Sharia law in his back. I mean, it's just crazy because nobody but you and a few people are willing to stand up. Nobody is willing to stand up, and meanwhile, these people are conquering every nation. Their goal is world domination. So what's Israel doing in Syria, Sid? Israel saving the Christian population there. Israel's trying to help out the Christians fighting jihad. Now, do you really think that the Israeli soldiers, they want to have Shabbat, they want to relax? Israel was just voted the 3rd happiest place in the world to live. It's a very good life there. It's a very good people love going to Israel. People love visiting Israel. I do. Yeah. And people love living in Israel. You think that these soldiers are not tired? They're fighting a battle on all fronts. They're being accused of genocide. These useful idiots are calling them baby killers. Meanwhile, on October 7th, what babies got burned? They burned our babies alive. They beheaded our babies. And people have to wake up to the fact that if you don't know anything about the Middle East, then keep your mouth shut. But if you want to know something about the Middle East, go to the Middle East.
That's right. Go
to the Middle East.
Yep.
And then come back and give me your opinion.
I say
Other
that.
than that,
Yep.
Not interested.
I say that all the time. All these people here in Brooklyn, Staten Island, Manhattan, they have all the answers. I've been to Israel twice in the last 8 months, twice, all over Israel, from Sderot to Judea and Samaria to the northern part of the country. I've spoken to people on the street, politicians, rabbis, you name it, and you certainly get a much different look at that beautiful country when you are there than from Tenafly, New Jersey. Sig, I got to run. I love you. Congratulations.
I love you more. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sid.
You're the best. Come on. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. There she is, fresh off her appearance. She was terrific at the Miami Summit last night. Our dear friend Siggy Flicker.